Hi, this is Dr. Steven Seufer. I'm a professor at the University of Mississippi in the Department of Social Work, and I'm also the co-founder and advisor and consultant to the International Paruresis Association, the co-director of the Bladder Center, and the president of the American Restroom Association. So today I'm going to talk about paruresis, or shy bladder syndrome. And much of this material is taken from my book, The Secret Social Phobia, which is available on Amazon. So to begin with, paruresis, or shy bladder, is considered a social phobia or social anxiety disorder. It's recognized in the DSM-5, which is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual that psychiatrists use, as well as the International Code of Diseases, which is now used universally. In case you're interested, the DSM code is 300.23, and the ICD code is F40.10. And so both of these schemes recognize a social phobia as a strong fear or embarrassment or humiliation in a social setting. We're afraid that someone will judge your performance in some way. Anxiety is therefore produced by exposure to a feared setting, and in this case, obviously, it's a public bathroom. It could even be one's own home bathroom if other people are around. And we recognize that the fear is disproportionate to the situation. We rationally know that we shouldn't be afraid, but we are. So what happens, obviously, is we avoid these situations. And consequently, it reinforces the avoidance of going to the bathroom. So this anxiety has a markedly negative impact on our lives, and it can very strongly adversely affect our ability to function normally in life. There are other associated features of this problem. For example, people with social phobia don't take criticism or rejection well. They have self-esteem problems. There's often a lack of assertiveness as well. And it's important to realize that there are cultural age and gender differences. For example, paruresis may exist strongly in one culture and not in another. There are some cultures in which men may be affected more strongly than women. I'm not aware of one in which the reverse is true. And the age is usually somewhere in the teens when the problem starts. The prevalence of social phobia in society in general, there are a lot of different statistics, but often the figure of 3 to 13% is put out there. What's interesting about that is we feel that perhaps 7% of at least the US population is affected, which puts that mid-range, but that doesn't leave a lot of room for other kinds of social phobia. So there's some discrepancy in the numbers. The most common social phobia, of course, is the fear of public speaking. We think that paruresis or shy bladder is second. Now, the course of the problem, it often begins during puberty and will continue for one's entire lifetime unless something is done and an intervention is taken. And there is, interestingly enough, a higher incidence of paruresis among biological relatives. So what's the best description for the problem? I'm going to quote one of the co-authors from the book, since I find this to be the best definition. It's a little long, but it will give you the feel for it. After an initial unpleasant experience, the individual anticipates difficulty urinating whenever entering a lavatory. Forcible attempts to control the process fail, and associated anxiety with performance reduces the individual's chances to void while in a public facility. The person with paruresis must then adjust to the disorder by voiding as much as possible when at home, restricting the intake of fluids, and locating vacant public restrooms. Other avoidance techniques can be used, like running the tap, refusing social invitations, and work avoidance. And that's from George Zagridis, who was one of the authors of our book. So what's the key here? The key is that we as paruretics, although I don't like to use that term, better people with paruresis, engage in avoidance behavior. And while that reduces the fear associated with being in the public restroom, it ironically just continually reinforces the pattern of not using public restrooms. In addition to the psychological component and the behavioral component, there are often physiological and cognitive issues as well. So people who have paruresis, when they go into a bathroom, may experience heart palpitations, sweating, high levels of anxiety, feeling faint, panic attack, shaking, dizziness. And then the cognitive thought processes often run like this. Is someone going to come into the bathroom? Is someone watching me? Will someone hear me? And these are the things which strongly impact people with paruresis.